Hi, it's Beezy. It's 4/13/2022, and it's day 31. And um, it's been a pretty good day. I wanted to start by saying, and I'll hopefully remember at the end, that tomorrow is the second Thursday of the month, and I had planned to do a New Earth Community Porch drop by, but I actually have more than just a block of hours off tomorrow, so I would like to get all the packing done and get some other stuff done. So I'm not going to do that. I'll put a notice up on the LLHD too. Um, I will do one on the 26th, which is in the evening, and I'd love to have you come because I'm going to be at a cabin and probably under the stars on a different porch. And that would be very cool to do the very first New Earth Community Porch drop by. That's 5 to 6:30 Pacific time, but that's on the 26th. So tomorrow, No Earth Community Porch, but next couple weeks. So today was good. It's interesting. I didn't get a lot of stuff done. I had a few things I got figured out, which have been, when you go to do something and you got to move something and then you got to get something else and you don't have the right thing and you got to do this and all this and then then all the other things you have to do get in the way. I didn't have one of those days today. And I had a very special time. Penny came and did her exchange for all the really nice chair and all the other stuff she took. And she came and she did a session with Keegan and Zander and myself. So that was very cool. And it was particularly cool with Zander. Zander is the sweetest boy ever. His heart is so big. He came to this planet to just love people into waking up. But he has this thing, and he's a very good, very well behaved puppy. In fact, the there's a little puppy that's my charge until I leave here, and shh, and I actually trust him 100% with it. So he's this big dog puppy. He is his puppy, and then the little puppy, just because she of the kind of dog she is, she's a medium-sized dog, but a puppy at that. Stop it, please. And and he's terrific with her. I mean, she launches at him and so glad to see him and chews on him and rah rah rah, and he just puts his paw on her back and sits down with her and they wrestle and chew on each other, and he's amazing. And there's another dog here who, because of his breeding, and he's a juvenile dog, and he's like, I don't want any part of this. This puppy doesn't know how to stop. And so the one that everybody looks at and think, well, he's kind of, little anxious, kind of hyper dog, he's golden with her. So anyways, but he has this thing where he gets excited. Absolutely. He's puppy, he loves to play. But he gets anxious. He gets over into beyond excitement into anxious, and then his like brain does not talk to the rest of him, and he'll whine a bit, and he'll sometimes it sounds kind of like a scream, or he's also trying to mimic the turkey. Anyways, and it's a thing, it's a behavioral problem, but it's a physiological stemming problem. And I have this remote protocol, which is one of the reasons I asked for it again to help me with something. And they're being my best customer again. And I brought this in and I transformed a lot of it, changing how his body was working and everything in, but there was still so had gone from, like a 12 and over the top, and only do it once in a while, like when he's out trotting with the golf cart or something. Then the rest of the time, really good. And he loves people, so he's excited to see people. So anyways, this protocol that I had come in not only to help him, but others, and it's one of the services I provide, but I asked, I said, I need help with this. How can I help him? And there's a few other people had things. And I said, well, I would love to learn to do these things. Can you help me? It's talking to me and all of me. And so they did, and things came in. And with Xander, there were dramatic changes. So if he was a 12 on the chart of this anxiety and this kind of physiological, not kind of a physiological and like uh, brain um, cranial issue, I took it to maybe a 4. So it was off the charts and it got better and better at it. But still something was there. So today was the right time because timing, divine timing and his age or whatever. So when Penny was working on him, we always do sessions. The room is full, and so there was all sorts of discussion and talk about that. And I said, I really want to help him because this bug out thing he has is going to be hard when we're on the road. He's in small space. Everything's going to be different. So he's got the puppy things he's got to learn anyways. And I don't want someone to think, oh my God, that's a crazy dog, or an aggressive dog. He's not, but or he doesn't bark, but he kind of whines a bit, dog, and get kicked out of someplace. So we played with it and we looked at it, and one of the things that she did, it was a new thing that she'd learned, was taking 2 stones, a soapstone and shungite, and you have to do one on one side of the body specifically and the other on the other side of the body. And I'm going to mess it up and get it backwards yet, but what it doesn't. So we held them to his paws underneath to start with, and then she was doing some other work. She was actually getting the spinal fluid flow from his up here, from the occipital all the way back to his back of his back area, right at the end of his vertebra, and getting that to flow because the flow wasn't even. And this is something that he had. I don't know whether he had some kind of torque something when he was being born or whatever. So he's had this all of his life. And if he'd been anybody else's dog, I've said this many times, they would have given him away or put him down simply because he's a big dog. And in this small portion of his life, maybe 15%, 10% that he does it, and he's strong, people would be overwhelmed by it. So he's up on the massage table and he's having this work done, and he's doing his thing like, oh, let me just kiss you, Penny, let me just hug you, you won't mind. But he's big and he's wanting to literally put his arms around and hug her. And so she thought, well, what about this? So we all, meaning all of the seen and unseen in the room, and his guides, and Keegan was there, and Keegan's guides joined in, and we're talking about it. And so she said, well, I don't know, maybe that'll work. So we tried it, and we put them in place. I had one, she had another, under his front paws, and we just held his paw and held the stone. They were small stones underneath, and held him there. And of course, he's trying to do his off the charts thing, and he's thinking this is weird, but mostly he's a little bit objecting because now the energy is zinging through him because it's balancing out the electromagnetics within his body. And the 2 different stones are having different effects that they're supposed to with that. And that plus, and from now, for my protocol, I'll add it to what I'm already doing in my protocol that I brought in, but I'll add this and I'll do the balancing of the spinal and everything fluid at the end and do this first. But so here he is, we're each holding one of his hands, and we have the stone between his paw and our hand, and you can feel it balancing out. And this dog went from basically like nuts at 75, 78 pounds to sitting on the table, laying down on the table. Now he's singing to Penny, just kind of Aussie sing, and happy eyes. And then we took him off. I took him out for a pee break, brought him back. He's walking around, comes in the room. In fact, she had to double take because she thought maybe I didn't bring him back in because it was so quiet. It was dramatic. In the space of maybe 10 minutes that we were doing this, 5 to 10 minutes max, absolute, and we've done a lot of things on myself and dramatic, where it's this kind of wonderful get together of all these beings. And but so that was very cool. And now I ordered the stones, and because I need more crystals. um but I'm going to rig up something. I either has a little backpack he can wear, or if that he'll just wear on them, the stones can go in them, so that they're planted on a specific side and help, when we have new situations and stuff. Or I may be able to rig up, even if I get him a wider collar, rig up something where I can put them on his collar and they'll do it. So that was very exciting. And then we did Keegan. Keegan's like, hey, what about me? I'm the cute dog and I'm the original dog. Get me up on that table. And then Xander went in a crate that he's been in there a couple times. It's a little small for him. It's in this pet spa that we do this. And he chilled. He just hung out, with his head by the door, and he's singing away in there and watching what we're doing, and absolutely relaxed. So then we thought, well, we'll see about, and she'd never done this on dogs before. This is totally new, just came down whole new in the conversations of, again, the us in the shirts and the etheric teams. And this is something that was born today for this. Other people may do it, but for in this room, we'd never done it, and she'd never heard of anybody else doing it before. So we asked Keegan to try it, and he said, and because he's Keegan, he's pretty perfect, and the energy was flowing. He wasn't hyper or full of anxiety, so he could actually feel and sense, and you could watch as the circuits went connected around his body. At first he's twitching like this because it's an electromagnetic pulse that this sets up between his resonance and then the stones that amplify it and balance it out and do their thing. And then he'd kind of with his hind paw try to move Penny's hand, because I think he was sensing that, and they're different stones, different currents, different way they flow right around in a circuit. And so he was trying to take his back paw to move her hand off of the paw so her stone would move. And so we said, just hang on. And we watched him, and you could see where the current in his body, so it's his current, we're not zapping him, it's his current in his body was moving. And then you could see where it was kind of twitching, or his fur, because obviously he's very sensitive with their fur, his fur was kind of vibrating a bit, where the energy flow was stuck, which meant that there was something within was on his right side, because he was laying down, that was the stuck energy, whether it could have just been some fascia stuck, or maybe a tendon or nerve or something. So we kept the stones there. We had them a little looser, so they were just barely touching instead of just a nice solid contact. And then Penny worked, I put my hand there, she worked through my hand as a directional point through that. And you could see in his eyes and in his kind of lower side area before you get to the hind leg, you could see it release, and you could see the fur actually lay down. And then we went back to holding the paws more solidly with the stone, and then you could see the circuit complete and run around his body, and his fur got a little brighter colored black, and then he just had this look on his face, big smile. So that was very fun and fascinating. And she did some cool stuff with me. The arm was weird, and she got it so it wasn't like it was on backwards. So that was very cool, and I'm excited because if I work with this with my own protocol of what I've been doing with him, which has made dramatic change, and then this, and especially if I can rig it up when we go outside and there's lots of stimuli that kind of kilters that flow of his spinal fluid and all the energies in there. It might make my dog a really, really happy dog, because when he does this thing, he's miserable. He's just anxiety ridden and miserable. Anyways, so that was very cool. And then another thing that was very cool, though technically so kind of boring, but there's this summit that I'm involved with this weekend, and there's stuff on the IEV. It's pinned post to my Facebook account. So if you like it, there's 30 wisdom speakers of us, 30 of us women who are speaking in all different topics, and it's free Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you can go. I'll put it up again on the Living Life in HD, but it's pinned on my Facebook post, and I'll try to remember to put a link to that in here. But you can go and register. You have to register for free, and then it'll show. You can see all the pictures of all the speakers, and then you can actually see the schedule of all the days, and then you have access to um, each day. I think it's 2 days you have totally free. If you want, for I think it's $33, you can buy the whole thing. So between the 30 speakers, it's a couple extras, so it's like 34, 35 things, and everybody is doing a conversation and teaching and fascinating stuff from all over the world. A wonderful mix from all over the world. So anyway, so I had to get some stuff. I had to get some stuff ready for that so that I could have it go with my presentation, and then something that's on, on the Living Life in HD back that way. So I hate waiting till the last minute, but it is with life right now. So I got that done. So that makes me feel better. And then I have another thing I need to do tonight, which is I think I mentioned it a couple of days ago. It's on the land alchemy, and it's calling back fragments of one's soul from all the different lands throughout their life. And that was fascinating. We recorded it just the other day. And I have to do some editing with the video just to put in some pieces that people will find interesting, and also break the middle. We have the whole program that we did, and then I'll break the middle part out where it's just the actual activation, so that it can be used with you and people in different ways. So, but I have to I have to do that. I know how to edit really well, and I volunteer, and I need to quit doing that when I get all this other stuff done. So that will be great when I finish that tonight. Um, and then other than that, I'm like I said, I've cleared my schedule for tomorrow now that I have no job on that, and I might sleep late. I might sleep till 7:15, which would be yay. Maybe one of the only last times I get to do that. And then I'm just gonna knock it right out of the park with packing everything. So if it isn't going, it's out of here. And then do some play with the business. So I think one of the things that came to me very strongly today, partly um, partly in when I was having my session with Penny, um, and then it was kind of a continuation of something earlier today. That the light was right, and I did take a few moments to just leave everything, let everything empty, and just be in the trees, which was lovely. Something I do all the time, but haven't for a while, is to re-up my fierceness about that for the remainder of my time here, which is 12 days. And also henceforward, from the moment I get in the truck and we're locked and loaded and we're rolling out here, that's just the new way of life. It doesn't matter, no, but I need this, or no, but you don't understand, I gotta have money, or but this. I'm taking it off the table. I'm making it a deal breaker. Because I have a knowing. It's such a delicious, bone deep knowing that that's the ticket, that that's the answer, that that's the magic. It's the envelope, the key, the bridge, the gate, you name it, and all of them and more. To how to do it. That's how you do it. And the it And the special magic that you put in is going to be different and unique for each being. You bet, absolutely. But this component, this is where that the all piece comes in. It's how we are created and how we create with that flow, the heart, soul, and self, and being in that fierce, devotional, love absolute space. That doesn't mean not busting your ass. It can be, but that is the feel, the essence, the character of all of it is that. Because otherwise the magic wand doesn't work, or it doesn't work as spectacularly as it could, nearly as spectacularly as it could. So that was a lovely coming to creation moment for me in the two halves that put together in the trees, and then in the shifts that were going on with Penny working with me. And I'm doing this video so I get to connect with you, and I'm really looking forward to this. Is the first time I can say this in at least a couple days. I'm really looking forward to whatever the rest of tonight brings, a little work, a little relaxation, you know, the potential, strong potential of a little sleeping in for me, like I said, 7:30. That's sleeping in. And then with a nice walk with the dogs as part of the activities, a work just for me day, just working for me. So working on packing up my new life and getting organized, and inspiration in the business, and I'm excited. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, and we'll see what unfolds. And I really hope you would all come to remember, I'm skipping the New Earth Community Porch drop by tomorrow, which is the second Thursday of the month, but I sure hope you would all come and play on the new porch on the 26th of April, moving day out into the great unknown, traveling down the road, on the path, wheels on the path. And that would be the fourth Tuesday of every month, and that's the 26th. So I hope you'll do that. I'll remember to put some information about that, and perhaps you'll come on the porch, the first porch out on Gaia. I love you.